Hey, what is going on, everybody? Welcome to another Whiskey Wednesday Hump Day night. That's right. It is Hump Day. It is Wednesday night here on the Master and Drum. Looking forward to another fun-filled evening with you guys. Trying a lot of samples. I have 3 already in front of me to get started tonight. These 3 are the new Hard Truth age-stated 7-year expressions. They're bourbon, they're wheated bourbon, and they're sweet mash rye. So we're going to be getting into this here in a little bit. Also recap my trip to Kentucky over the weekend. I kind of did a trip from a different perspective, which was kind of cool. I'll kind of explain what that means. And yeah, a lot of fun stuff going on. Drunky Rye released, I think today, to Barrel King members. It released to Patreons last week on Friday. So it's been just a great weekend, and I can't wait for everybody to get their hands on it and give it a try. So, but yeah, cheers to everybody. Welcome in. Let's say hi to a couple of folks like we always do every Whiskey Wednesday night. Let's say hi to 96 Milliman. What's going on? Nathan Jurgensen. He's got ECBP Rye A126 in the Glen. It's good. That shit is really good. Chi City's finest. The hunt starts now. Like that. C-Dubs is here. What do you think of the A126? I mean, if you're talking about the rye, I love it. I think it's a fantastic rye. Greetings all from Danny Lynn. We got Echo Juliet is here. What's going on, EJ? Hope you and Melissa and the fur babies are doing all right. Little Barry is here. We got Adam Hinson. Tim Romero is here. There she is. Mrs. EJ is here. How you doing? James Lay with his LFG. What's going on, man? A Brod is here. Free Pote Steve. Sip on the Match and Dirty Dark Arts pick. Can't wait to try the Drum Key Rye. Can't wait for you guys to try it as well. They will ship in April, so hopefully in a week or two, you guys will start seeing shipping for it. Dr. Sped is here. Some Jack Heritage Barrel in the Glen tonight. Always a nice, good decision there. Russ L is here. C-Dubs going Mr.'s Barrel Strength. Michter's Barrel Strength. I think I just said Michter's. Good old Michter's Barrel Strength. John Legalbo is here. Slapshot is here. What's up, Brian? Nice to see you, man. Rees Mash is here. River Roots 15-year port finish in the glass. Port finish rye. It's probably good. Taste and Sensibility is here. Who else is here? We got Bourbon and Brews, who's got a blend in the running tonight. That's right. Robert Schemmer's here. We got James Morgan. We got Poor Putter. Mauricio Pastenes is here. Carlos Robles. WD Hare is here. He moved on to the next round. So congrats to WD Hare there, Mr. Wallace Hare. Congrats, buddy, from last week. Joe the Sample Guy is here. We got Devin Behrens is here. Tom Shanley also has a blend going on tonight. Isaac C is here. And Allocated Camp is here. Victor's Barrel Strength around the glass tonight. A lot of people going for the rye. Top Jimmy's here, of course. Alan, first time here. Welcome in, man. Welcome in for the first time. And I'm just going to keep scrolling on and go forth. I see Bourbon Coach, Ernest Peacock, Gasfa, Jay Porter. All right. About to pour 4 fingers of ECBP 525, says Nick Foles. Remus Gatsby 2025 in the Glen. That's one that I missed and I heard was actually pretty good. The Gatsby 2025. Honey Barrel Hunter's here. He says present. Mark Illikin is here. What's going on, fellas? Lay Catfish says Pootie Tang. Okay. That might be the first time I've ever said Pootie Tang on the live stream. Cheers, drinking Archer Ellen Cashmere and really enjoying it. First time catching a live stream. Doing a great job, Jason. Can't wait to hear more about EC15. Says wish for 420. Welcome in. Yeah, we're going to do a couple of comparisons. I do want to test it now that it's opened up a bit. I got some more pours out of it yesterday. So yeah, I want to try to get Baker's 13, Calumet 15, maybe a couple of other bottles. If you guys have some ideas, we'll get that going. Cushman's here, Buttercuts. I'm Miss Thickles. I'm just here for the Costco hot dog water whiskey, says Men Talk. Costco hot dog water whiskey. Which whiskey is that? Do we have something that? Are you talking about the new early times? P. Chase, love you, Jason, but you make my no drinking between Sunday night and Wednesday difficult. Sorry about that, man. Some Russell's 15 in the Glen to match the EC 15-year theme. Calumet 15 is a good comparison. Price point wise, yeah, exactly. I thought that would be a good comparison. Just poured Hard Truth 7-year bourbon. All right, yeah, let's dive into these real quick, guys. Then we'll get things started. So this happened back in February, where Hard Truth unveiled this trio of aged whiskeys, this 7-year trio of aged whiskeys. They just sent me these samples. Apparently, they had a new media person. They were kind of getting their bearings, so they sent these samples out. So I really appreciate them for doing that. So let's see. These are the first 7-year whiskeys from Hard Truth, marking a significant maturation milestone for the distillery. Crafted entirely at Hard Truth's Indiana campus, they showcase the depth and character that comes with extended aging. Sweet mash process creates delicious whiskey at younger ages, but after 7 winters and summers, these whiskeys have been transformed into something truly special. Cannot wait for you to try them. All right, we're going to start with the bourbon. This is 11 barrels, 73 corn, 19 rye, 8% malted barley, 19 malted barley. I'm sorry, 8. Wait, hold on a second. 73 corn, 19 rye, 8 malted barley. Yep, got that. Sorry, correction. Hard Truth Bourbon has earned several awards. Okay, yep, all the fun stuff. All right. Let's see what we got here on the bourbon. Cheers, guys. Thanks for tuning in tonight. We're going to have some fun. We have a guest judge coming on for Blendageddon, someone that's never been on the channel before. So I'm excited to invite them in and see how they do with Blendageddon. What's up, Henry Turner? I thought this whole stream was going to be about the hot dog bottle. Did you guys see the April Fool's Pappy 23 Coke meme that was going around? I saw all that stuff. Yep. So I didn't like the nose at first. It actually came off. It kind of gave me that musty note, but it's actually dissipating a bit, getting sweeter here. So yeah, now it's getting a lot sweeter. I enjoyed the Hard Truth Double Oak Sweet Mash. Jason, so what is currently considered high rye? 20% plus? I think so. I think 21, 36, when you kind of get in those 20 plus. I mean, which is funny because historically, Wild Turkey being at 13%, they were considered high rye at the time, according, in comparison to others. So it's kind of interesting how, we have much higher rye mash bills nowadays. So wait, no purple Weller bottled and bond? Yeah, that was another one that came out, a Weller purple bottled and bond. Basically a bourbon that if it did exist, nobody would ever see it. So that'd be pretty fun. The 2025 Gatsby is on shared pour. Oh, okay, I gotta check that out. Tim Jurgensen, is it worth a pickup? Weller purple top. JG is asking who is in Blendageddon tonight. He wants to know so he could stay or go to bed. He's old. He's in it tonight. JG's in it. If you guys want to, this will look kind of, I don't know if you'll be able to see this. Yeah, that's really small. Yeah, there's a bunch of people in there tonight. I'll just show this real quick for our special guest, but no. Do I have him written down somewhere? I believe it's JG, Tom Shanley, Bourbon and Brews, Mark Emanecker. Who else? Tyler Ussolini. And there's one more. There's one more I'm missing. And Eric Snyder. So those are the 6 going head to head tonight. There we go. All right, let's give it a try yet. Much better on the palate versus the nose. I mean, this is just a really good. Oh, I like the rye spice in this. The Pappy 99 year was fire. Is Russell's Reserve 13 45th anniversary on the docket? Heard it was hitting in the next few weeks. Yes. Allocade Camp, it is coming. The only thing we don't know yet is we just do not know what those stats look like. Now, remember, last year we had a 13 and we had a mostly 13 with some 14 year in the Russell's 13. It was a much sweeter version of Russell's 13 than we've seen before. Most of them have had some pretty older barrels in there and really gave us those dark, rich oak flavors, some heavy cherry, some of that fermented fruit, medicinal cherry note that you get from Wild Turkey here and there. Last year's Russell's 13 was not that at all. It was definitely a much sweeter profile than we've seen for Russell's 13. So even though it does say 45th anniversary, we don't know, are we just going to get another 13/14 year blend, or maybe 14/15 year, whatever it looks like. We just don't know what those stats are quite yet. So, is that just, I mean, you just never know sometimes. They could just slap it on there to make it more of a milestone so it sells more. Or will the 45th anniversary actually mean something where there's going to be some pretty special whiskey in there? Time will tell. Yeah, Nick Foles. We're not getting A126 Eli's Craig Barrel Proof or Larceny. We're not getting it. I asked about it. So I was at Heaven Hill and over the weekend, and I asked somebody there, and they were pretty tight-lipped about it. So it wasn't that they said yes or no, but it just sounded like no. It was very, very odd. Same thing with Larceny Barrel Proof. I mean, I don't know. It's really interesting. Hey, what's up, Roman Carter? Stashes and snacks. Bruce commented on Instagram post that it's got some older juice, so let's hope. Well, that's the hope. A lot of the talk when I was out Wild Turkey over the weekend was about the upcoming Cheesy Gold foil release, which looks like will be around the May-ish time, I think. So, oh yeah, I'm driving straight there from Columbus, Ohio, whenever it releases. Love the front of the palate, love the mid palate. The back end has a little bit of a musty barrel funk. Well, it gives you like that, a little bit of that oak bitterness, which, you get that in some whiskeys and it can really be off-putting. It's not really off-putting here. I kind of dig it. It's not too, it's good. It's a really good solid bourbon. You can definitely taste the age and the depth that's in this Hard Truth compared to some of the more previous Hard Truth bourbons that I've had. And the best part of this is the finish and the spice of this. You got to like spice. This is a very spicy bourbon, baking spice all over this. A little bit of almost, it gets into like a bitter chocolate note on the back end, like a spicy chocolate on the very back end of it. But the front of it's very classic, toffee, caramel, heavy vanilla. And then you get just a huge burst of spice that continues onto the back end, especially with that bitter chocolate note, I think. It's not really bitter barrel. I think it's more of a bitter chocolate that I'm getting. So pretty good start on that one. I dig it. Jason, I bought a 6-pack of that Macallan 30 Coca-Cola drink. I'm getting the same thing on the 7-year too. I still like it, says Russ. Yeah, you're getting that like kind of funkiness on the back end, Russ. I'm totally getting it, but I love the spice of it. I think the spice makes up for it. If the spice wasn't there and it was only that slight bitterness note, then yeah, it might not come off as well. What's up with Green River laying off the master distiller, or is that April Fool's? I mean, we could talk about that a little bit. I mean, I do know some information about it. I can't speak to it, outright, but it is true. Green River laid off about 200 people, including master distiller, including the master distiller. So it's just in context, from what I heard, it's just kind of a forecasting thing. It was investing, and I think honestly, if I could just give you an overarching theme to it, it's basically, I think the dip in the market and the barrel situation when we're looking at contract distilling and other stuff, and people needing less of it or people backing out of it, is affecting a lot of different businesses. And I think that's what kind of was happening with Green River. I mean, I think that's what the indication was. There's probably a lot more to it than I'm thinking, but that seems to be what's happening in the market. You just have, there are businesses out there, and I mean, you could read about them. There are businesses out there that were just doing barrel sourcing and people buying barrels from them they're not selling any barrels anymore. Just the market is saturated. So it's unfortunate. Green River Master Distiller did an interview. He said he left to do his own thing. Yeah. I mean, look, everyone's going to have their take on it. I'm not going to sit here and try to, put words in anyone's mouth. That's not what I do. So I just think reading the tea leaves and seeing what's going on in the market, I just think there's probably a lot of financial things that happened that caused Green River to have to make this pretty aggressive shift. But I mean, if you're looking at what's going on in the market, I mean, there are some things happening that none of us are even seeing. Again, when you're talking about barrel brokers just kind of stopped selling barrels because nobody's buying. The prices of barrels have come down pretty massively. So, but I do see an uptick. I think in some places. So we'll see what the market does. So larceny proof of Benny's for 45 today. Thank you very much, Darth Raider. Yeah, going to get a couple Green River single barrel picks. Yeah, I mean the biggest thing that I'm worried about. Well, actually, it's kind of cool about drum key. The ride symbol. The ride symbol has cast strength Green River rye in it, and I was hoping we were gonna get to taste cast strength Green River rye because it's pretty delicious, and that's what's mainly in that drum key ride symbol. Is I use some cast strength rye whiskey in it, and it's freaking delicious. So let's see here. It's also a situation multiple people in the same position. Danny was already blending for both. Ron is over contact for both. Steve isn't going there. They don't need to be. Well, I mean, I can't speak to like what position is doing what now. Who knows? But I think contract distilling was a big part of it. So we'll see what happens as we go forward. It's unfortunate. Anyone tried the Barrel 12-year American Oak Cast 2? Initials were looking good. Barrel 12-year American Oak. It's also a situation. Yeah, I read that. Okay, sorry. All right, this is the wheated bourbon. Let me see if I have any info on this one. So sweet, Hard Truth wheated bourbon. Mash bill 69 corn, 19 wheat, 12 malted barley. So let's see what this one brings to the table. Jason, how much better, if better at all, is Elijah Craig 15 over 18? I've had 18. I didn't really care for it, not for the price. The 15 is much better. Look, again, it's very hard to just say, oh, it's 10 times better than the 18. I think proof wise, it's what people want. So that's a plus, a huge plus. I mean, you're looking at 18 proof points on top of any high age Elijah Craig that we've seen. The Elijah Craig 21, 23, 18, they've all been 90 proof. This is the only one, the 15, that's gone over that 100 proof mark. 108 is a nice proof point. The barrel I have, barrel 33, happens to be very viscous, has a beautiful balance of really sweet flavors, and the dark fruit note that I'm getting in this 15 is different than I normally get in other Heaven Hill offerings. Jason, Matt Porter loved your drum kit. Yeah, he does love it, which is pretty cool. So hey, if he likes it, I line up pretty well with Matt most of the time. Any luck on the Alaska stretch kicks? No, man, I didn't get. I did enter 3 raffles, so I'm just waiting for the results, dude. I'm trying on Kith. Honestly, I forgot the other 2. It's Kith and I think End Clothing. I'm in their raffle, and then another one. So I don't know, man. Listen, if the price on that dropped down crazy. It was at like $1,500 at the beginning. Now it's sounding like $400 or $500. I still don't know if I want to pay that much for it, but we'll see what happens, dude. Not sure about Barrel 12. I just bought another EC18, but it was 130, so had to. Wonder if EC15 is why ECB patches. Yeah, so that's another great theory. A lot of people are saying that they lost the 12-year A statement on the Elijah Craig barrel proof because they were setting up to bring out the Elijah Craig 15-year, which it's a good theory. Still doesn't mean they couldn't use 12-year barrels in Elijah Craig barrel proof. Doesn't mean it's not 15. Matt Porter said he'd kick your ass in bowling. Yes, I did watch his review. I forgot. I got a comment on it. He said he'd kick my ass in bowling, which is definitely true. He said, did he say boxing? I feel like I'm faster than him. I guess we'll find out. But bowling, yeah, he'll kick my ass. He's a good bowler. I don't even remember the last time I went bowling, but I bowl like Fred Flintstone. I kind of like ting, 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 like down the lane, and I throw the ball as hard as I can. And if I happen to be throwing straight that day, I may get a good score. But Matt Porter probably has like the fancy curve shots, all of it. Again, this is just Cosmic Bowling was a vibe. Yes, it was. Where do you drum key in 5 years? Same partnership, alone, or something else as Bourbon and Balls? I don't know. That's all going to depend on what happens with Old Road Spirits and Barrel King. That's what it's going to come down to. Maybe it stays. Maybe it goes away. I don't know, but we'll have to see what happens. Italians don't bowl; they bocce. Well, that's true. We do bocce. You know what? I don't mind the nose on this. This is actually good. It's got like this almond. Um, it's a little bit of a bright fruit note there, but it's kind of like an almond cookie. But this drinks like a weeder. This is a weeded bourbon. It's a lot easier to drink. It's very crushable. I don't think I told you the proofs on these. Hold on, guys. My bad. Did they even say what the proofs were? Are they all 100? Let me see. Oh, all right. So the weeded bourbon is 116.1. What was the bourbon? The bourbon was 112.2, 112.3. That's crazy because that seemed way higher with that spice. But and the weeded bourbon is a higher proof, yet it drinks a lot easier than the bourbon, which is lower proof. Just goes to show you what spice can do to a proof point. It does give you that weedy funk on the back end. I mean, weeded bourbon fans seem to love that. I'm kind of on the fence about it. This one isn't as much, so I do dig it. That's pretty good. But I mean, there couldn't be like two more like good examples of what a rye bourbon and a weeded bourbon can taste like. Like this has all the spice, all the punch. This is as easy as pie, man. I feel like no one talks about Hard Truth anymore. Yeah, I think they, unfortunately, as good as their rye was, I think them using rye as their number one, I guess, flagship was, I think, in a way, good and bad. I think good because it made them different, and their ryes are delicious. I mean, anyone who's had Hard Truth rye, it's very good. But again, on the flip side of that, their flagship was a rye. Ryes have a much harder time catching on in the space than bourbon does. And when people aren't necessarily into rye, and here's the other thing, timing is everything. As their rye was getting better and better and maturing, that's when the market started, leveling out. So I just think it was kind of a combination of factors, unfortunately, for Hard Truth. But coming to the market with age stated whiskeys, it's a big deal. It's a big deal for any brand, no matter how much you slice it. Yeah, I'm a big fan of the caramel malt. Hard Truth Sweet Mash Rye. This is their 7-year Sweet Mash Rye, 107 proof, 7-year. Last year, the 6-year rye was really good. Yeah, here's your 7-year. And this nose is like a rye. This is dill. Definitely some mint. Lots of clove. Hint of orange peel. Or is that lemon peel? Maybe it's more lemon. There's something very like tangy about it, which is kind of cool. So the age was 7 years. These are all 3 or 7 years old, John. Short of Sagamore, it's tough to lead with a rye, unfortunately. Yeah, remember, Sagamore had a head start on Hard Truth. Sagamore came to the market first. So I think they had that opportunity to build their brand in a boom, kind of the boom time frame. Is Hard Truth calling these cast strength? Um, Sagamore's a lot more money behind it. You can't compare Sagamore with Hard Truth. They have a lot. Yeah, I mean, money is money, but it's all about the whiskey, dude. So the Sweet Mash Rye is 94.6. So it's not 95.5. This is 94.6. Let's see. All right, let's see what we got on the 10 barrels in this batch. Root beer, chocolate, spice. It's actually much more on the palate than I thought I was getting on the nose, much like the bourbon was. I also think Sagamore is doing the best job with it's just that flavor profile, that mix of high rye, low rye that is giving it more of a pleasing aspect for many different drinkers, where like this is more of a rye drinker's rye. Yeah, Kenneth. I think, I think there's still time. I think we're just in this dip in the market. Good stuff is still coming out. It's kind of a golden age right now for NDPs and some really great barrels that are out there. But at the same time, the shelfers are having a hard time kind of breaking through because no one's really paying attention to a lot of those new. That's why we constantly get new releases because that's all anyone's interested in. Actually, let me ask you guys this question. I was thinking of this. With the Elijah Craig 15. Elijah Craig 15 comes out 108 proof, right? We still get releases that are new that are 90 proof, 90 something proof, whatever it may be. Do you think it's like this is the time for distillers to stop just stop making 90 proof stuff? You already have plenty of it on the shelf. The drinkers that are interested in drinking whiskey and the ones that are really into American whiskey, let's face it, we all like higher proof stuff. Even it's 100 proof, just give us something 100 proof plus. We're gonna be a little bit more pleased with that versus something that comes out. Yeah, it might have a high age, but at 90 proof, that's what like sticks out. When I look back at the reviews I do and the comments I get, if there it could be a 25-year offering, but if it's 90 proof, they're like, nope, I'm not buying it at 90 proof. I don't care how old it is. So do you guys think it's just like, I don't know, should distillers just stop bringing out stuff at this point that's anything 90 proof and just focus on stuff like 100 proof plus? You already have 90 proof stuff on the shelves. Just let it be, let it cook, let it go. But give us stuff that now I know there's financial stuff that goes into that because, when you forecast out, there's going to be releases that you want to get the most out of. So they're going to proof it down to get more bottles, to get more whiskey on the market. But if it's 90 proof, 90 proof stuff. Yeah. So this is my point, Nathan. 90 proof stuff is what sells and pays the bills, but it's already on the shelf. There's enough of it. If you're going to bring out something new now in this market and you don't want it to sit, make it a decent proof point. That's my point. That's my point. I'm saying bourbon coach. Yep. Another reason NDPs are kicking ass, mostly barrel strength. Yeah, exactly. Hey, what's up, Big Rick? I'm just saying, yep. 50% minimum and no chill filtration. Decent proof or decent price. Pick one. I mean, you wish for both. Wish for 420. You wish for both. We're the 1%, though. That's why people miss. And you have, let me see here. And you have on premise to look at two bars and restaurants run whiskey and liquor. No, I totally get that, James, but think of the amount of shit that's out there already at 90 proof. Like, why do we need more of it? I don't need another 25-year release that's 90 proof. I'm not interested in that. Unless like you have to do it for, flavor purposes. Something could be that old and the proof, a high proof on it can taste terrible. Maybe it needs water to help the flavor profile. And I'm all for that. But, just to bring out something 90 proof for the sake of bringing out something 90 proof, there's so much of that on the market already. I had to step away. Did Jason catch my super chat? Did you super chat, Jeff? I don't think I saw it. Oh, there it was. Sorry, Jeff. I did miss it. You have to speak on the Rush performance last week. Oh, dude. I'm so excited. They not thinking about the enthusiast. I had to step away. Did Jason? Yeah, I did see it. Yeah, we'll talk about that. Yeah, especially for new labels. I don't know. It's just an interesting thought. I don't think everybody would ever do it, but the NDPs are what we have to look at to always release something that's like cast strength and just kind of delicious. So, all right, my ranking for these, probably no surprise. I'm going to go bourbon, rye, wheater. The bourbon's my favorite of these three. These were really nice. Yeah, if you're a rye drinker, you like a rye drinker's rye. You're a fan of 95.5s. That's going to be a great rye to pick up. That 7-year. As far as bourbon goes, between the bourbon and the wheated bourbon, I love the bourbon. The bourbon's got the spice. It's got better viscosity too. The wheater drinks like a wheater, though. If you rather have the easy sipping experience, go with the wheater. All right. I got so many glasses on the table. Oh, boy. Okay. All right. What are we going to try next here? Let me get into these. Are you guys interested in these Dragon's Milk Origins? They released 4 of these, and they sent me all 4. These guys are crazy. All of these are different. Are you typically a fan of double barrel rye or double barrel bourbon? Says 96 Milliman. Yeah, I do like double barrel rye over bourbon most of the time. Every now and again, though, you really hit on a great double barrel bourbon. Dragon's Milk is crazy. Peacock, what up? Crazy as a fox. Yeah, so these are different toast profiles on all 4 of these. So this one is called what is that? A breath of fresh air. This one is called Tropical State of Mind. Let's start with these. So these are all toasted. This one's 117 proof. This one looks like it's 116. I'm gonna try these. These Dragon's Milk bourbons tend to be just really wild as far as the flavor profiles go. So I'm really interested in trying these. They just sent me these. They didn't really send any literature. So I don't know if these are available, if they're out right now. And you guys know I'm pretty critical when it comes to toasted whiskeys, just kind of not my thing. But the Dragons are the origin stuff is so different. It always kind of piques my curiosity. Winding down the day with M&J and a pour of King's Family. Can't beat the looks. The bottle's beautiful on these. So let's get into these, man. All right, so this is Tropical State of Mind and a breath of fresh air. Let's try a breath of fresh air first. Yeah, the thing I always get with this stuff is peach. I get candied peach. I get the trolley rings, the peach rings, whatever you want to call it, all day long. Oh my gosh. It almost comes off a little bit scotchy in a way. Finished and toasted. Let me see if I can zoom into these details because the text is really small and you guys know my eyes are fucking terrible. This toasted. All right, so this is a toasted and rum barrel finish batch, which is the Tropical State of Mind. That makes sense. The breath of fresh air is toasted and Madeira in this one. All right, I'm glad I zoomed in. Oh man. they're actually really different. The rum barrel is very rummy. The Madeira just is like peaches and raisins. Yeah, like Green River Wheaters, I think, are just so peachy. I tell you what, on the nose, the Tropical State of Mind is killer. Absolute killer. Yeah, it is peach, rum. It's peach and maple syrup, basically. Super sweet, very decadent pour. Very, I'm like super sweet, like really like syrupy. I mean, fat kid whiskey, like I like to say. Holy crap. The Madeira one is a little bit more tame, a little more balanced. Raisin, chocolate, some nuttiness there to go along with the peach. This rum one, the rum one has the bite. It's got the viscosity too. Peach has to be the yeast flavor. No, I think so. I think it's a big part of it for sure. Anyone ever tried short barrel after swarm? I've got one coming tomorrow. Can't say I have. Nice. Haven't had that one. My wife loved the origin because of the peach notes. Yeah, I mean, these are peach notes all day long. All day long. It's still the dominating factor in both of these. However, I think I really like the rum one. The rum one is the rum to beat. This is the rum to beat. The the breath of fresh air one I actually really dig too, but because I really do love Madeira. But I think the spice with the rum is actually what's carrying this through. It's got some nice baking spice, which is balancing out the rum note. Yeah, the Madeira almost takes over a little bit. I love the raisin flavor in it. There's just I want more spice to balance out the sweet, and that's what I'm getting in the rum one. Okay, I got two more here, and then we'll get into a couple of news stories before we bring our guest on. Let me get these over here. All right. So the next two, let's see what we got here. Oh yeah. By the way, guys, my mom was on her first whiskey podcast last night with the Bourbon Hunters. So that's right. My mom, Mary C, will be on her first podcast. So if you guys listen to the Bourbon Hunters right out of here in Ohio, she's going to be on the podcast. I'm not sure exactly what week it's going for, but she's going to be on it. So next drum key bottle, the 1-2 beat. All right. Is there a bunch of SLB folks in here tonight? Welcome in if it's your first time, guys. So this is toasted and maple barrel finish. This one's called Quiet Luxury. This one is Baker's Delight, which is I think this is just a straight up toast. It doesn't say it was finished in anything. Just toasted. All right. Yeah, Quiet Luxury, man. It's still quiet peaches. All the peaches. Jay, how many of the KC blenders would you buy at 45? Is it special or just different? I don't think it's special, but it's definitely different. I have 2 bottles of it. I dig it. Yeah, apparently you're slumming it on my channel. The SLB Discord's in there. We talked a little bit about Henry McKenna, but we actually played a game on the podcast. Can you find the McKenna? So we blinded my mom with 4 different pours. Could she find the Henry McKenna? So I'll let you listen to it to see if she found it. This is the darkest so far of the 3. Super dark. Chocolate, dark maple, oak. That's definitely the darkest of the 3. That might have moved ahead for me versus the rum, which is the Quiet Luxury. That thing is really nice. The most velvety on the palate. I'm hearing good things about these toasted dragons. Yeah, I mean, so far all three of them are really good. They're all different, which is nice. You don't want to do 3 toasteds and have them all be super similar. I will say the peach note runs through all of them. So yeah, it's got this really nice dark, almost candy apple, maple, chocolate, baking spice, like sweet cinnamon, not just like cinnamon red hot, but like sweet cinnamon. That's my new favorite, is the Quiet Luxury. All right, let's go to Baker's Delight. I'm going to call this Rapper's Delight, but we'll see. Oh, man, that's so interestingly enough, this one probably has the least peach, at least on the nose. Way more sweet and candy on this one. Maybe that's why they called it Baker's Delight. Yeah. Oh, man, this is candy. Peach is on the palate. It's just not as in your face as the other one here. Okay. This one's really sweet. A little bit less viscosity. This is the move right here. Out of all three, I'd probably go Quiet Luxury number 1. That's delicious. Number 2, I'm still going to maintain number 2 is the rum. Number 3 is Baker's Delight. Number 4 is the Madeira, if I had to rank them. So if you guys have access to these, dude, that Quiet Luxury is so good. I'm going to crush that bottle. Oh my gosh, that's delicious stuff. Thanks to New Holland for sending these along. These are just freaking delicious. I'm not going to blend all those. That's just not going to work. All right, guys. Before we bring our special guest on, I do want to compare Elijah Craig 15 to a couple of pours. We'll go through the news here. Then we'll get our special guest on for a big round of Blendageddon. All right, so here's the Elijah Craig 15. It's just getting better. It's gotten better and better and better since I opened it. I'm telling you. I don't know if everyone's going to have that experience once they get their hands on one. So I have Baker's 13. Now this is 107 proof. I don't have the 90th, but I will tell you, I've had the 90th. I like the 15 way more than the 90th. I'm just going to say that outright. Somebody asked me that in the comment section. I like the 90th. It's good, but the 15 is better. Calumet 15. I actually grabbed the Michter's 10 too, because even though Michter's 10 is a lower proof, it's got that age statement and it's actually more expensive. So, and Michter's single barrels tend to be 13, 14, 15-ish years old. So, all right, this is not going to suck. So, real quick, before we dive into that, let's go into a couple of news stories. So, first and foremost, let's talk about, unfortunately, kind of some bad news out of, actually, wait, where is it? So this is all about Heritage Distilling, LF Heritage Distilling. March 23rd, order sends the property at 197 Swords Road in Georgetown to the Master Commissioner for sale. The site is owned by Darren and Beth Dillo and is listed as the address for LF Heritage Distilling, formerly known as Limestone Farms. The distillery is part of a broader wave of financial legal issues across the alcohol industry. Multiple producers are facing lawsuits, liens, and bankruptcy proceedings. These include Kentucky Owl and its owner Stoli, which are in bankruptcy, Luca Mariano, Garrard County, Westward Whiskey, and Uncle Nearest, of course. It was previously reported that LF Heritage Distilling had been added to the Kentucky Bourbon Trail despite ongoing financial and legal challenges. Let's see. KTF also accused the Dillos of fraud, alleging false representations led the company to invest $480,000 in the project. The judge did not rule on the claim as part of the foreclosure order. But again, just, another unfortunate foreclosure in whiskey as we're, talking about what's been happening in the whiskey universe. There just seems to be, and it's tough when you hear fraud wrapped into all this, because you just want it to be, listen, there's going to be bad investments that aren't going to pan out, investments that, maybe you were promised a certain amount of volume, but you can't meet it anymore because people aren't buying as much. There's a lot of that happening in the whiskey world right now. So you're hearing a lot of that with other brands, but this seems to be, not that it's, been proven, but we're seeing a lot of this, kind of sneaky behind the scenes stuff going on. It's real unfortunate. And I'm a huge fan of Limestone Farms. I was hoping to do a pick there, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen right now. The big news this week was really out of Pernod Ricard and possibly buying Brown-Forman. Like, are you kidding me? That's crazy. So there's a rumor going around that Pernod Ricard was having talks with Brown-Forman in order to purchase Brown-Forman outright. Now, Francis Pernod Ricard and Jack Daniel's owner Brown-Forman are in discussions about a possible merger. Not so much an acquisition, but this, I think, depending on where you read it, some say merger, some say acquisition. The company said on Thursday a move that would unite the world's second largest spirits maker with the largest producer of American whiskey. Spirits companies are battling a multi-year sales slump amid slowing demand and tariff pressures, which has triggered a slide in valuation. Shares of Brown-Forman, which has a market capitalization of about $11 billion, ended up nearly 9% on Thursday, while those of Pernod Ricard, the maker of Absolut Vodka and Chivas Regal whiskey, fell nearly 6%. Pernod Ricard has a market value of about 16 billion euros, which is about around 18.5 billion US, and an extensive spirits portfolio that includes Irish whiskey, Scotch, and tequila. Now, both companies have recently announced restructuring plans, including job cuts at Brown-Forman. You guys have heard all this. Now, the overlaps would be overlaps here and overlaps in Europe. Adding to a deal could deliver significant cost savings. Now, Brown-Forman introduced a plan last October to provide for severance pay and benefits to executives whose employment is terminated due to a change in control. So that stuff is happening. I read another article that kind of got into the financials part of it. Brown-Forman and Pernod Ricard are exploring a potential merger. So if you look at the shares in the two companies, and this again, this is just me reading. I was doing some research on this. The complexity of the situation appears to extend beyond financial considerations and into governance and legacy. Brown-Forman traces its origins to 1870, when George Garvin Brown introduced sealed whiskey bottles, while Pernod Ricard's history dates back to 1932, with Paul Ricard's creation of pastis in Marseille, later combined with the Pernod family earlier absinthe business. Now, structurally, the deal is expected. Hold on a second. Structurally, the deal is expected to involve a substantial stock component, which could allow both families to retain meaningful ownership and participate in potential long-term upside in a combined entity. People familiar with the matter have indicated that both sides may roll over large stakes, though key elements such as headquarters location, primary listing, and governance structure have not been disclosed yet. There's also limited visibility into how extensive discussions between the two families have been so far. So it's still kind of up in the air. Now, Jim Cramer, who's the TV stock expert, he says it makes a ton of sense. No one's saying that things are going great for Brown-Forman. I don't want to give you that impression. They're not. But given the context of a stock with a great brand, so Jack Daniel's, just to give you guys some numbers context, Jack Daniel's down nearly 70% over the past 5.5 years. We have to grade this on a curve. More importantly, there are genuine signs of some improvement. It's not like Brown-Forman has its head in the sand. After 8 consecutive quarters, year-over-year decline, Brown-Forman reported a positive net sales growth in its most recent quarter, along with a healthy earnings call. So after years in the house of pain, the business is finally seeing some improvement. Meanwhile, the stock's gotten pretty darn cheap as long as you could trust management to make the numbers. It now sells for less than 16 times this year's earnings estimate. It's down from 40 times earnings at its high in 2020, and now there's a new catalyst with this takeover from Pernod Ricard. Now, there are reasons to be skeptical about the potential for a deal like this. You know, I think the merger could make a ton of sense. Would create a combined business that's more diverse, better positioned to take on the market. I mean, you think about it. Pernod Ricard has kind of always been second to Diageo. This would be a direct. We're going after Diageo. Now we have two big conglomerates, which right now feels like the kind of Diageo is kind of seen as kind of a helpless giant at this point. There could be lots of cost synergies too. So a lot to be seen, a lot to see what happens with this one. But it's an interesting expert subject to change without notice. Kramer's a moron. Yeah. If Kramer says buy, sell, see Lehman Brothers. Yeah, he's basically saying that, because Brown Forman stock is so low. Now, here's the thing. Pernod Ricard, I think the Brown Forman shares did spike a little bit after the talks that were made public kind of went public. So I don't know. We'll see what happens, but it would be interesting. But either way you slice it, if Brown Forman and Pernod Ricard combined, it would be a pretty big, I guess, entity in the world of whiskey that would go right against Diageo. The only thing is that you hope that it wouldn't really hurt the structure of Old Forester and some of the whiskey they're making. So we'll see what happens. That would be ick. Yeah, and if it does happen, and here's the thing, I've thought for a little while that Old Forester has been kind of, I can't say I'm talking strictly Old Forester. Jack Daniels has been killing it. Woodford Reserve has, put out a few good releases here and there, but they have a very loyal following. But Old Forester, to me, has just not had it. And I've been saying that for a long time. So, hopefully if this does happen, it makes Old Forester better and not worse. Because right now, the stuff coming out of Old Forester, aside from the President's Choice Rye, most of their stuff has been pretty meh to me. So whatever happens to Old Forester couldn't be worse. King of Kentucky Small Batch seemed like a money grab. I think it watered down the King of Kentucky label, being just a behemoth as far as but I don't know, man. It's one of those things where it could make sense on paper, but it might not make sense in the long run. Either way, both families are going to make a shit ton of money. Don't see these big companies valuing the enthusiast market. Exactly. This is it. That is the tagline for all mergers and all acquisitions. You just hope that they cater to the enthusiasts. It took Campari a little while. Campari does maintain its, I guess, importance of the enthusiast, yet they make us really pay for it with the pricing. So it just depends. 100% on Old Fo lately. Yeah, Old Forester has lost me. I've seen more different allocated bottles in one time here in Middle Tennessee in the last 2 weeks. Picked up E.H. Taylor single barrel. Yeah, there seems to be I've been seeing a lot of Buffalo Trace on the market. So, okay. Cash flow keeps companies afloat during lean times. Just think about all bottles, $50 to $100, how they would keep cash flow in order to stay afloat. All right, so this is the Elijah Craig 15. The nose has just gotten infinitely better. Again, it's still maintaining that fig, date, all those really great, deep, rich fruit notes. Again, the age is there, but it doesn't overpower the experience like sometimes the 18s do. Well, it's so good. Let's try Baker's 13. I think Baker's 13 is a nice comp. This Baker's 13. Now, again, Baker's 13s are single barrels, so these might vary as well. But my Baker's 13 happens to be way more oak forward and more barrel char, heavy char note on this one. Yeah, whiskey BS. I totally get that. Even though the EC15 seems light, it packs a lot of punch. This Baker's single barrel actually has a little bit of a dark red fruit to it, almost like a cherry Tootsie Pop, where it's kind of like cherry chocolate a little bit. But again, that oak char is really, really prevalent in this Baker's 13. I mean, it's pretty dark. Oh, it's so good. I think it's darker than the EC 15. I think the 15 is actually a little bit brighter and sweeter. Yeah, about the same length of finish. I feel like you get around the same length for sure. So Baker's 13 is a really good comp, I think, for Elijah Craig 15. They're close. I do think the 15 is a little sweeter, at least, again, single barrel wise. Just I have barrel 33, if anyone's wondering. That's right. That's what I've been saying. Buffalo Trace buys Pernod Ricard, which buys Old Forester. We are all Buffalo Trace. That's essentially what would happen. This is the Calumet now. Now the Calumet with that 18% rye spice, dude, you smell that rye spice. That's the differentiator here is the rye coming out of the Calumet. The rye and cherry. Now there's some cherry in the Baker's, I think. Maybe it's not cherry. Maybe it's more like a raisin or something dark. There is a dark fruit in there. Resistance is futile. Yeah, the Calumet 15 is good. Good comp. Way more spice, more rye forward versus the Elijah Craig. The Elijah Craig again. I think Elijah Craig brings more balance of sweet and sweet and spice overall. Michter's. Oh, Michter's has the oak, man. Michter's has the sweetest oak out of all four. But Michter's is kind of known for that. Yeah, again, Michter's comes off very sweet, very easy. The dark fruit is there. I do get a little bit of that acetone, which makes me think it is Old Forester. Could be wrong. We don't exactly know. But I do wonder why they're going to do with the Garrett County Distillery. It's 15 minutes from me. Danville Bourbon, man, I would not be surprised if you see somebody else swoop in and grab that, like a Sazerac or a Buffalo Trace, for sure. Pernod is probably worth 4 times what Sazerac is. Yeah, I mean, Nathan, you're right. But, people that just live in the world of bourbon don't really see that. Come on, guys, hit that like button while you're here. Really appreciate it. It definitely, helps the channel. So please do. I would have to say, in terms of this matchup, I think Baker's 13 is the best comp for it. It's the best. If you already have a Baker's 13 and you really like it, then Elijah Craig 15 is going to be right up your alley. Although it's a little bit sweeter, I do think that there are some similarities there. There's way more oak char on the Bakers, at least in my single barrel. But versus this one, this Elijah Craig 15, I think is going to be one of the best releases of the year. It's a great price point. It's a great proof point. It's like Heaven Hill listened. They said, let's not release another high age at 90 proof. Let's give them some more proof to it. And we'll see how variable these single barrels get. But right now, this is shaping up to be one of my favorite releases this year. We're into April for sure. This is really nice. I got chocolate covered raspberry right off the bat for my first Baker's 13. Yeah, Sean, maybe it's raspberry. I could definitely see the chocolate though. Yeah, it's like chocolate, barrel char. Yeah, I think that maybe that's what it is. Not cherry. Maybe it is raspberry. And it's just like a hint of it. It's just like a bright punch of raspberry you get. That's crazy. Elijah Craig is the dad. Comparing a local Russell Reserve Tyrone M pick, Russell Reserve Mosaic, and Russell Reserve Dusty Nan. I think the Mosaic takes it. Very special bottle. Dude, that Mosaic, I think, even though it's the sweetest, it's so delicious. Love the Mosaic. Okay. And I'll save this for later. I was going to bottle kill this Heaven Hill 17. I'm about to finish this, but I did compare it to the 15 earlier yesterday, I believe. And the 17, honestly, I think I like the more of the proof punch on the 17, but I think overall as a whiskey, I think the 15 can hang with it. So again, it's I know the single barrels are going to differ, but we'll see what happens as more of these get out in the market. So all whiskey brands to add buff. Oh yeah, what's on the shelf Wednesday? Actually, yeah, I don't because I had so much crap to get through. I do have an idea to do for what's on the shelf next week, so I will do it next week. But it's already 10:05. My guest has been behind stage here, so I want to get Blendageddon going. But before we do that, I do want to go through a couple of new labels also that were found on the TTB. The Reveries 10-year. We talked with Jay last week. He said, there would be some new Reveries coming out. This looks like a single barrel that's going to be releasing these single barrel releases, which I'm really excited about. Joseph Magnus looks like they're bringing out a 10-year rye whiskey. I'm not sure the mash bill of this yet, but it looks pretty interesting. I mean, anything when you get 10-year plus, and again, this just speaks to what's happening in the market. We're getting just a ton of releases here that are going to be age stated. And what else? Still Austin is coming out with an age stated, it looks like 6-year straight bourbon whiskey finished in Calvados barrels. I was a huge fan when they did the Madeira, and now it looks like we're getting Calvados as well. So just it's a crazy time for whiskey. There's just everything that you see on the TTB now. It seems to have an age statement, and it's kind of an exciting time to be honest. So, Ricef Magnus, yep, rivalries. Word is the Garrard County Distilling will be used by Sazerac as an RTD producer. Very well could be here. I could see Garrard County being kind of a satellite distillery, something, another distiller to distill something either as an experimental distillery or to do RTDs or to do, who knows, distribution. So, all right, it's 10:07 already. It's crazy. The time's flying. Can't stand when this happens to me. I have your 10 years Reveries in the glass tonight. Oh, that's a good one. The normal cast strength is 2. All right, guys. Yeah, Nancy and Calvados is probably going to be magic. All right, guys. So we are going to get ready here for Blendageddon for the first time ever on the channel. Very excited. I just showed you some labels from the TTB. And, I will say publicly here that you guys know I go to the Instagram Coming Whiskey, run by Jacob Kyper, Coming Whiskey, who runs it. Going to talk to him. He is our guest judge, and we are bringing him in tonight to help with Blendageddon. Jacob, welcome to the show, man.
Hey, how are you tonight? Thanks for having me.
Sorry to make you wait so long, buddy, but I saw you back there. Well. There was just a lot of whiskey to go through tonight.
Hey, it's a good problem to have.
Yeah, for sure. So how are you, man? It's your first time on the show. I wanted everyone to get to know you a little bit. I'm not sure if you heard of this show, but I reached out and just wanted to, I've followed your posts obviously, but if you go through the, I guess, the history of your Coming Whiskey Instagram, you can see how it starts out as labels, and then all of a sudden there's a shift where you're going to distillery after distillery, going to all these different distillers, meeting with people, really kind of taking a deep dive into the whole culture, trying some amazing whiskeys. Tell us a little bit about the genesis of Coming Whiskey. What made you do it, and how has it evolved from when you started it all the way till now?
Well, so for the first 2.5 years, it was completely anonymous. Kind of as you noted, there was no name. A couple of my local friends knew who ran it. It was just the way it went. Definitely wasn't about me. It was all about the labels. And then I, excuse me, ended up partnering with Mash Networks, and they built a little online DTC store. And they thought, well, if you're going to push this, it might be helpful to come out of the shadows, to kind of put a name and put a face with it. And behind the scenes, I've really enjoyed photography for many years, doing distillery photography. Just didn't really have any place to put it. So I thought, hey, let's do it here. Let's let's take all of my distillery travels and put that photography out there. And it was definitely a growth process to kind of figure out, what exactly did I want this space to be?
Mm-hmm.
And it's definitely evolved over a little more than 6 years now.
So 6 years you've been doing it?
Yeah, I looked the other day. It was February 3rd, 2020. So I guess right before the world ended with all the initial onslaught of COVID.
Yeah.
Back, and so kind of where it all came from. I used to hang out on Twitter a whole lot, and I read a lot of books on beverage alcohol history, bourbon, and whatnot. And for a long time, I would live tweet my books. I would take information that I learned from my books that I thought was interesting and figure out how to put it into tweet form. But while I was hanging out on Twitter, there was an account named Skew Eats, and he searched the TTB, but he tended to only put kind of the big heavy hitter labels on there. And so I thought, well, that's interesting. I want to figure out how to do that. So I put the effort into learning how to navigate that archaic TTB website. And then it was more just my own enjoyment, looking at what's out there. And then I would see something interesting and I'd text my friends and, hey, you got to see this. And then I got the Weller single barrel label and I put it on one of those Facebook whiskey groups and people went nuts over it and thought, okay, this is interesting to other people. It's not just me who finds this interesting. There's nothing like this on Instagram. Now, the Skew Eats was on Twitter, but didn't post that much. It was just like the big labels. I'm interested in the big labels like everyone else, but I think, as we know now, there's a lot of these smaller craft brands that are putting really interesting and innovative stuff out there, and I wanted to share all of that. So that is where the inspiration came from. The Skew Eats on Twitter, but I wanted to take it further, and realizing there was nothing on Instagram about it. Initially, I just kind of thought it would appeal to just the whiskey geeks, the consumers.
Yeah.
But then eventually came to realize that yes, it does appeal to that group, but it's PR, it's marketing, it's the industry, and it's a way to look at what trends are going on and what's coming to market, and for brands to interact with consumers before they print labels, before they go to market. And it's definitely grown far beyond what I ever anticipated.
Can you do can you do voiceovers for my drum key brand, by the way?
I get those questions a lot. I got to find some way to capitalize on this voice at some point. Just
seriously,
haven't found how
dude.
to do it yet.
When you wake up in the morning, is your voice even deeper?
Occasionally. So I will say maybe the peak of my life when I was in college during Black History Month, James Earl Jones visited my college. Yeah. And I got to meet James Earl Jones, and Darth Vader told me I had a deep voice. So I'm like, when
wow.
Darth Vader comments on your voice, I mean, I'm not sure where I'm supposed to go from there. I don't know, but I'm still figuring it out.
You're only coming down from there, dude. Yeah, this is where you need to be. You need to be the new movie preview guy in a world where bourbon is. Yeah, you know that guy. That's your next gig right there, man.
If you know anybody hiring, I'll give you my number.
I don't know anybody in the movie industry. I might have to call Hollywood.
Fair enough. I'm open for work.
All right. So first and foremost, thanks for coming on. I really thought it'd be cool to kind of talk to you about some of the trends you're seeing, when, you've been out and about in the whiskey world. It's something I'm obviously tracking, every single day. But also with that, I have 6 blends in front of you that I sent you. And we're doing Blendageddon. So Blendageddon is my annual contest to see who at home can take some bottles that are available on the shelf, blend them together to make something, extraordinary, something that really stands out. So what we have tonight are 6 unique blends blended by, let's see, Tyler Ussolini, JG, Tom Shanley, Eric Snyder, Mark Emenecker, and Bourbon and Brews. So those 6 guys took to the task and said, I can make a blend better than you. So that's what we have in front of us. So it's our job tonight to taste through all 6, take 2 of them, and kick the rest out while the other 2 move on to the next round. So again, thank you for being a part of this. It's pretty open, dude. We'll go A through F, one at a time, call out our notes. We'll start ranking them as we get to it. And we'll just talk whiskey in the beginning. I'll have some fun questions for you as we get a little bit later tonight. So
I volunteer as tribute.
All right. Jacob has the timber. He just needs to work on his Don LaFontaine Gravitas. Yes, I like that. My son works at a movie theater. Does that count as the movie industry? I guess so. Tom says, I want to apologize in advance for the bespoke cardboard blend you're about to have. Come on, Tom. We don't even know what blend yours is yet. We'll see. We'll see what happens here. All right, so let's go into glass A and let's see what we get here. Actually, let me grab my notebook. I'm keeping track of all these.
I don't know, on the nose, it's like a sweet tart, kind of that powdery candy sweet for A.
Okay. Oh, yeah, you're not wrong.
Yeah,
it's very sweet.
It feels like a sweet tart. I was actually hanging out earlier in my front porch with Zach Hargis of Silk Velvet and pulled in a whiskey. Then I got on the palate, it was the Smarties note. And this, though, feels much more on the nose, sweet tarts specifically.
It's Smarties with like a hint of Jolly Rancher. There's something in there very sweet.
It's, and honestly, that was my first thought is that a cherry Jolly Rancher in there? But then it's like I'm sniffing a cherry Jolly Rancher and a sweet tart of some kind at the same time.
Like a pack of cherry fun dip, if you will.
Okay, that works. Yeah, cherry fun dip. Just fun dip. Yeah, that works.
All right, let's give this one a try. Thanks for coming on, dude. Yeah, let's have some fun tonight. Cheers, man.
I feel like the palate is initially a hit of sweet, and then it kind of tapers off, and it's a little more.
It's all sweet. It's all candy, much like the nose. I have to go back for a second sip of that.
I feel like, all right, so initially sweet, and then I get that that orange circus peanut note. That, what are they? Marshmallow foam circus peanut note.
There's something beamy about it. I feel like I'm getting a beaminess to it. It's kind of there's something Jim Beamy about it, and I can't put my finger on it. Maybe that's that peanut note you're getting. I'm getting like a beam something in it, which is interesting. But the front of the palate, you're right. The front of the palate comes in, tons of sweet, tons of candy. Then it drops off a little bit, provides a little bit of spice, but I get a lot of sweetness. This is, to kick things off, is a nice sweet whiskey.
Yeah, and even just that initial just blast of sweetness, and it's still sweet, but I feel like, yeah, to me it shifts more to that circus peanut sweet versus like I don't know. It's a different kind of sweet, but yeah, more circus peanut feels more of that orange.
Yeah.
Marshmallow type note.
Yeah, definitely the orange I get, which also makes me think kind of like Old Grandad-ish a little bit, that high rye mash bill. Here's a great question, Jacob. In the 6 years of analyzing labels, what has been the biggest trends you have noticed? Obviously, we talked about age statements, obviously coming more to the forefront the last couple of years with the shifts in whiskey. But what have you seen? What have you noticed over the last several years from just constantly looking at these labels and posting them?
Well, one, it's always fun to kind of notice when we start seeing a new finish for the first time, see a finish that I haven't seen before, and it's, is this something that's going to take? Or is this kind of a flash in the pan? Then all of a sudden you notice that there are numerous other brands that are doing it. So it's kind of always fun to take a look at, what are the finishing casks that are out there. And I also understand, there's typically a reason for that, because some broker somewhere got their hands on a large, cache of specific type of barrels. And so it's not necessarily that these NDPs or whatnot went hunting for that weird specific barrel. It's just a large cache of them, something became available, so everyone's going to start using them.
One word, Amburana, right? Am I right?
That's like Voldemort. Let's not. But are you not in?
Amburana was pretty cool when it first came out, and then every single distillery under the sun started utilizing it. And it was like, oh my god, enough is enough.
There have been a handful of them that would legitimately go back for more than one glass. But I feel like it's so entirely easy to go too far. January 2025, I went to go visit High Bank in Columbus, Ohio.
Yeah.
And they walked me into the barrel aging room, no warning. And I walk in the door, and immediately I think somebody dropped a bottle of Amberana whiskey on the floor, and it busted on the floor. I'm looking around for like spilled whiskey on the floor. Well, walking in the door, immediately inside that door were a couple of Amberana barrels, and the wood is so ridiculously potent, it's just in the air. I mean, you think it's potent in your glass, just to walk into the room, and it's in the air.
You're so right. So I have a great relationship with High Bank, obviously being here in Columbus, Ohio, and they give me samples of stuff to try, but I just tell them I do not ever want your cigar cask blend, which is the Amburana one. I'm like, no, thank you. And I could tell you, being a Barrel King, when I'm down there blending, they have one Amburana barrel that sits in the back corner of the warehouse, and you could smell it everywhere. It's so annoying. I'm like, oh my God, get this thing out of here.
The perhaps the best pure Amburana finish I've had, and there's a caveat, so let me get there though, was at Starlight in Indiana, and climbing in barrels with Andrew, and he pulls out this bourbon finished in Amburana, but it was a 7th fill Amburana barrel, and the 6th fill was Rolling Fork rum, the Foursquare rum. So it held rum before bourbon, but it was Amburana on its 7th fill. So
yeah.
At that point, it had kind of leached a lot of the Amburana character out. It was still there, but it just wasn't smacking you in the face as much, enough that I actually enjoyed it on a very well-used barrel.
Totally agree. The only Amburana pick we ever did, I believe, was a 3rd or 4th fill. It had enough that it got kind of squeezed out, which was plenty of us. So D. Newen says, Jacob really deserves much props for his tireless work sharing this info and also managing to inject his own personality without overshadowing the core mission of Coming Whiskey. I agree. It's a good comment. All right, let's go to letter B. See what we get.
All right, let's do this.
A little more oak on B.
The nose on B is more my style than A.
Yeah, for sure. This is where you get your darker caramels, brown sugars. Yeah.
I get like a burnt toffee kind of.
Yep.
Yeah, this is a little deeper, more oak, more, very deep sugars. I like this nose is more my jam over A.
I
not
agree.
Quite as confectionery sweet.
Yeah, I don't mind the sweetness on A, but I do like the darkness in B. Hopefully the palate lives up to it. Oh, wow. Okay. I really enjoy that.
Yeah, I do. I prefer B over A.
That's really good. Great viscosity on that. That's hard to do with a blend. Getting that type of viscosity on it. Yeah, love it.
It's definitely got the sweetness there, but I feel like it's more balanced. It's got the spice to go with the sweetness.
Yeah, this definitely feels a lot more balanced. This is right in the wheelhouse. This is what you want to see from a great blend.
Yeah, I would reach for this over A every night.
There's something on the finish I'm trying to...
I feel like it's...
I'm trying to figure out how to...
I think it's corn. I'm going to like a corn nut finish.
Kind of corn nut? Oh, that's a good note.
I don't know. It's that not... I don't know. It's like a corn nut that kind of has a lot of the spice already kind of sucked off of it. So it's kind of not... It's not the overwhelming spice.
Corn nut. Oh, so just like a spice cabinet you're getting, like all these little spices. Oh, maybe,
yeah. I mean, it's
maybe that's it. Whiskey Nose. Maybe it's like that, the Dr. Peppery type of flavors. You know what I'm talking about? Where
there's a lot of spices mixed in there for sure.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm kind of gearing toward. I don't think it tastes like Dr. Pepper, but when you're talking about all those spices coming together, especially on the back end of it, it's really unique. I really like the mid to back palate is my favorite part of this whiskey.
I feel like it's not a peanut, but I feel like I'm getting some kind of nut in there, but not a peanut.
Like more of a almond pecan type thing. Maybe
I think
is
more of
it?
an almond. It may be more of
Yeah.
a roasted almond.
Yeah, this one's really good. Corn nut snacks with spicy coating. Yeah, maybe. Spicy Frito, says Mark Emenecker. I don't know. 2 is good. I definitely like 2 over A.
Yeah,
Or I should say B.
everything about yeah.
I should say B over A. Like, I'm mixing numbers and letters here. Let's see here. Okay.
I don't know. Then I feel like on the finish, I'm also getting a bugle. The those little triangle cracker things you put
Oh
in
yeah,
fingers.
loves a good bugle. Yeah, maybe that's what it is. Maybe you're just getting kind of like a aged corn type of note.
Yeah, and
But
now that I think about, maybe that's the better description. It's it's that bugle corn snack versus the corn nut. Maybe
yeah,
that's
maybe that's what it is.
more it settles in.
Yeah, but there are a lot of spices kind of wrapped around that. That's a really interesting blend. I dig that, whatever that is. All right. The others have some work to do. 2 is pretty good. All right, let's go to letter C. See what we get here. It's not, so that's the thing, Shammy. It's not corny, but there's just, I don't know, there's a profile to it. But it is sweet at the same time with those darker flavors. And I think that's what's making it interesting. All right, let's go to C.
I feel like I don't feel like I'm getting nearly as much on the nose here as I did A and B.
I agree. It's a little bit more flat on the nose here.
Yeah, a little. Have to think a lot harder to pick stuff out.
I mean, it's pretty classic. I feel like I get vanilla, I get some, but everything's light, like vanilla,
Yes.
like caramel. There's nothing super dark here. I'm also
Nothing
feel like
punches hard.
Yeah, I'm also picking up like a little bit of there's a faint like cotton candy note to it.
Let's see that.
Yeah, maybe.
But everything about it, everything is very soft. Like I don't feel like anything is just jumping out of the glass.
Totally agree. It's very light. It's not in your face at all. All right, let's try it. Oh wow, the palate's way better than the nose.
Yeah, the palate is way more expressive than the nose is.
Absolutely.
If I was going based on the nose, I'm not a fan, but the palate, this definitely works.
Yeah, the letter C's got baking spice. It's got viscosity. There's almost I'm not going to say cherry cola, but there's a little bit of a cola vibe on it. But it's, man, what?
I don't know. The more I sink in and push the tongue to my roof of my mouth, I feel like maybe I kind of do get that Dr. Pepper aftertaste at the very end, especially when I press my tongue to the roof of the mouth. It sets in a lot. That's I like I said, the palate a lot lackluster. Or not, I'm sorry, the nose lackluster.
Yeah, the nose is lackluster. The
palate, this works.
Palate comes through. Henry Tur says, Jake, a big fan of your content. This will be fun as JC shared his wish list for potential whiskeys. What would be your wish list for a few whiskey labels that are not currently on the market? That's a good question. I've wished that Four Roses would do a double oaked, like a legit double oaked. We do have a Mizunora Four Roses that you saw that's coming out, which is pretty exciting. But I just wanted like a straight up, Four Roses double oaked bourbon to come out. That's been kind of my wish list for a little while. What's been on your list that you hope to see one day?
So, one thing that I know is coming, and I'm already ready to line up for it, is Green River's releasing an age-stated 8-year double oak, 375 milliliter. I'm assuming it's going to be a distillery exclusive. Karen Wells knows what she can and can't tell me, so I just tell her, blink if I know you can't verbalize it, just blink.
Yeah.
But I'm excited because it'll be the first age-stated Green River, and it's double oak. So that's something that it's definitely on my wish list for this year. For those who don't know, I live in Owensboro. I live 10 minutes away from Green River. I've been a fan through the, early O.Z. Tyler days that were rough. And now, people are coming after barrels marked O.Z. Tyler. So it's kind of been a fun transition from OZ Tyler being a dirty word to now people realize, oh, it's
How
great stuff.
good it
But
was. And I could tell you, my drum key debut, the first bottle, the first blend I made, is pretty much all OZ Tyler Green River, and
yep.
the stuff is ridiculous.
So it was fun earlier tonight. Zach Hargis, who with Silk Velvet, came over to my house for a while, and he's worked with Jacob Call from the early stages and still does, and got to pull a Barrel King into Alzheimer's bottles, 9-year, 4-month, 4-day OZ Tyler Green River barrel. It's kind of fun to share that with him tonight. But the biggest wish list is, and again, I don't know if it's going to come out this year or 2027 or whenever, but in September, Green River is going to have 10-year bourbon.
Yeah.
So that whenever it comes out, that is definitely something it's on my wish list. Can't get here fast enough.
When you just like, as far as personal preference, obviously you're close to Green River. What other distillers do you personally gravitate towards? Just as far as your favorites. I mean, I know it's hard. You try a lot of different whiskeys, just like I do. There's a lot of different ones that are out there. But if there's a couple distillers that you gravitate more than anyone else, what would be your picks?
So, all right. So one that I really like, and I'm sure you know them, knowing where you live. If we're talking about young whiskey that I think is actually legitimate and is fantastic, and I want to show people, look, you don't need a lot of age to be great, is M&O Spirits, which I know is fairly local to you. Asheville, Ohio, or Asheville, probably 45 minutes southeast of you?
About 40. Yeah, about 45 from here. Yep.
They've been 2 or 3 times now named Barley Corn Craft Distillery of the Year. I really like what they're doing at a young age.
Okay.
I stay in Columbus. I think Middle West is fantastic.
Oh, dude, yeah. Big fan of Middle West, obviously. Yep.
I absolutely love the pumpernickel rye that they do. Oddly enough, when it comes to the rye, I think I prefer the unfinished rye to any of the finished stuff. I actually reviewed this for Drink Hacker, came out a couple weeks ago. This is the sherry cask finished bourbon. I am typically not a huge sherry finish fan, but yet I think the Middle West sherry cask bourbon is perhaps the best sherry cask bourbon I've had.
There's something about that pumpernickel rye and how it takes on finishes that make it so good. I was completely in love with the was it the port or the Madeira? One of those, I think it was the port. They released a port finished barrel that was super high proof, and it was just like, oh my god, the flavor profile on that was amazing. That was one of my favorites. I totally agree with you on the pumpernickel rye. I see a lot of makers behind you. You a Makers fan, or are you just?
I am, but I suppose Makers is actually the epicenter of my origin story for bourbon. I turned 44 years old next week.
Okay.
My father died from cancer when I was 10 years old in 1992.
I'm sorry to hear that.
And I'm losing track of time, but let's say maybe 8 years ago.
Okay.
My mom told, I was a craft beer drinker, and my mom said, "Hey, by the way, I saved the last bottle of bourbon your dad opened before he died in 92. Most of my childhood, my dad was in and out of the hospital for various health things. That was my memory of him. And she said, "Do you want the last bottle he ever opened?" Standard Makers.
Okay.
Nothing exceptional, about it. But then to realize in 1992, this was top shelf. 1992, this was it. So, nothing fancy. But my dad, he drank good bourbon. And my mom gave it to me. And suddenly, it's the realization that my dad drank from this bottle. I'm holding this 3/4 full bottle of Maker's Mark. My dad drank from this bottle. I took one drink of it, and it's still good. And I decided I was going to put that bottle back on the shelf and save it until I have twin sons, and they're almost 14 years old. And I thought, and this was 8 years ago. I'm going to save that bottle, not touch it again until my sons turn 21. On their 21st birthday, going to share a glass with them from their grandpa's bottle that was gone long before they were ever a concept. I realized that as a Kentuckian, I didn't know much about bourbon, and that's not acceptable. So I I held this bottle, and it gave me this sense of connectiveness to my dad.
For sure. And that's what I was going to ask you. Did that story that connected it, your mom giving you that bottle saying it's the last bottle of bourbon your dad opened, is that what kind of sparked it in you to go down the rabbit hole?
It is. And
interesting.
I approach things from an academic standpoint, so I picked up a book from Claire Eisen.
Yeah.
And I liked it.
Great author. Yep.
And one book turned into another, and I'm on like book 517 now.
Yeah.
And it's just everything that I am with whatever this has become. It all started as a way to connect with my dad more than 2 decades after he passed away. That's my driving factor. It's somehow to think, I feel connected to him through this.
Yo, cheers to that. Thanks for sharing that. That's pretty amazing, man. I could totally understand that. I've met so many people that have, I'm not going to say a similar story, but a story where an old family member or somebody that they lost, there's a connection with bourbon there that just kind of takes them in the rabbit hole. And then they meet different people with the same type of mindset, the same type of sensibility. And, I don't know, there is something very connective about it. And I think that's what keeps me doing this. Just like you said, I've been doing this since 2018. You've been doing it for, what'd you say, 6-7 years? So,
well, the Instagram thing since 2020, but lived on Twitter for a while before that.
Yeah, but I mean, dude, that's an amazing story. How old are your sons now?
The end of May, they'll turn 14.
Okay, so not that long.
Yeah, I mean, we got a couple more years.
Got a couple more years, but that's going to be a very special day. I hope. I really do hope Coming Whiskey is still going, and you post something with you and your sons doing that. I'll be looking for that post. That'll be really fun, man.
I'm hoping to do so. It's this is a passion. There's a reason behind it. There's a driving force behind it. So absolutely.
Yeah, that's honestly, dude, that's great to hear. Like, we hear people that come on this channel and they talk about what their driving force is. Sometimes we get it, sometimes we don't, but you just shared it, and I really appreciate that about you. So thank you so much. That's a great story, man. So let's cheers. Let's see, A, B, C, D. Let's cheers. Let's cheers the next sample to your dad, man. We'll get into the nose here. Let's see what we got.
I like that.
D is similar to C, where I feel like not a whole lot coming from the nose, but I think a little bit more than C for sure.
Yeah, it's definitely kind of a similar profile, but just more of it.
Yes. The baking spices here are beautiful. I'm getting nutmeg.
Yeah,
a little allspice here. Tons of nutmeg.
Yeah, dude, I feel like it's a nutmeg bomb. Like I said, it is very similar to C. It's just more potent. It's a much more potent version of C.
It's a nice like combination of nutmeg and clove. So I'm like thinking, there may be some rye in here, or at least high rye. I'm thinking it's nice.
I think this might be my favorite palette so far.
Oh wow, you're not wrong. That has oak, spice, dark fruit. Great
peanut. Got a peanut hiding in there too.
This kind of takes you on a little bit of a ride compared to the others. I still really like B for the type of viscosity it has, but this might be the most cohesive from front to back. Would you say?
Yeah. I think so far D I think has been to me the most complex of the palette and the most complete palette so far.
It's got a little barrel funk to it too, which I dig.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. I've only read 2 books since 5th grade, but still managed to get my bachelor's in marketing. But I have a few want to read, so I'm going to start again. Yeah, Diego, read some books. I mean, there's some great whiskey history out there. Henry Turner. My dad left me a bottle of 2000 very old Fitz that led me into this hobby, along with you, Jacob, and Jason C's content, shepherding us enthusiasts. For sure. Yeah, I mean, it's great to hear the connections. That's what I love hearing that so much.
I get a on the finish, and then I'm showing up get like a burnt orange peel showing up late on that finish that I like a lot.
Man, that finish is fantastic.
It is.
It's like an orange peel just covered in oak char. I love it.
It's yeah, like so I get like a char, but it's like an extra oily.
Yeah,
It's there's no shortage of the orange oil on that one at all. That's that yeah, that hits hard.
I might be overthinking it, but I feel like the viscosity gets better like as it works its way to the back of the palate. That's crazy.
Yeah, it had good viscosity up front, but yeah, the longer it sits, like I said, it very distinctly feels like that orange zest oil. It just
That's
it sits there. Yeah,
that's easily the best finish out of the four out of the first four so far. That finish is still going.
yep,
So whoever blended this probably knows I like a good finish, and that finish is, I mean, it's still sitting. That's
yep,
awesome.
yeah.
PJ Whiskey, the rye release go public yet? The ride symbol release, it just released today on Barrel King. I'm not sure if it's public yet, but if it does go public, I will definitely post about it. There was a good amount of bottles, so I don't even have the numbers. I don't know how many sold yet. I'm still waiting to get all that intel back. Hopefully, I'll get that tomorrow for you guys. Good question here. Curious what, if any, changes you would like to see mandated for future bottle labels. I'll tell you the thing that's getting me lately is these bourbons that are coming out that seem flavored, yet they're still coming across being labeled as bourbon. And I'm wondering, has the goalpost just gone so far back for that it's just like it's kind of fair game at this point? It's a little bit. I feel like there's an authenticity that we're losing a little bit on some of these newer labels. What do you think?
I mean, we've entered the territory of straight bourbon with. You toss the word with in there or finished, and I mean, it gets pretty wild.
Yeah.
And I go through periods where I like a good finish, but I'm swinging back heavily right now toward just give me a good straight bourbon.
Yeah.
But
I agree. I mean, I feel like all these great bourbons that are coming out are just we're getting to a point where a lot of the, I guess, the craft distillers that we know and love that we followed, years ago, their stuff is coming of age. It's getting better and better. And it's really, into a place where it can compete easily with the heritage brands.
well, and I feel like mentally I get stuck in this place where, like, when I think of craft distilleries, they're still 3 years old.
Yeah.
It's still 3 years old and really expensive. And then you look up and they're 6, 7, 8, 9 years old. And I've got a bottle of from Bella Dayton, old Dietrich rye.
Oh, dude,
It's a nine. It's a nine, or is it 9 or 10? Anyway, it's a 9-year-old single barrel rye.
Those single barrels are 8 and 9 years old right now. They're delicious.
And it's crazy good.
Good.
I don't think most people realize Dayton, Ohio has a distillery that has that kind of age on it.
Dude, news to me, and I do want to call out, hello again, Whiskey Friends, another Whiskey Tube channel, Jeffrey Wack. I've seen them on the shelf, obviously here in Ohio, but I was like, okay, I don't really know what that's about. But then the more I looked at the bottle, and I saw the age statement. He's like, dude, you really got to try it. I tried it. It ended up being one of my distilleries to look out for. Add to your list for this year. It's that good.
Well, and I got turned on to it last year. A guy I met through Twitter, Jason, lives somewhere in Ohio, and he was coming to visit Green River. And he's like, look, I'm going to drop by. I want to bring you something. Like, okay. So he brings me this Bella Dayton, old Dietrich, and okay, look at it, and holy hell, I reviewed it for Drink Hacker, and I'm like, this is one of those things that, it's been around for a while, yet no one knows that it exists, but you need to know it exists. It's great. And that's just kind of the state of craft whiskey now. It's no longer
Yeah.
this 2-year expensive stuff. We got great age statements.
It's exciting. Yeah, to D Newen's point, Driftless just released a 10-year. They have 10-year bourbon. They got 10-year rye. I know they have stocked. I mean, that's one of my favorite brands putting out whiskey right now. Tony Martin says my dad passed in 2020. I have an empty Eagle Rare bottle and wooden box I bought him in 1983. Of course, he drank it. The bottle is full of local aged whiskey that I put in the bottle in 1984. That's amazing. That's cool,
good
man.
keepsake to have.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, it's dude, the amount of great whiskeys we have access to nowadays it can't be understated.
Sure.
Of how good we have, like, as far as whiskey enthusiasts, the stuff that's out there right now, especially single barrel wise. I mean, some of these single barrels. I drank a bunch of stuff from New Holland tonight, but the Walleye Run, their rye whiskey is just ridiculous.
So, like, my family over the last 4 or 5 summers, we have discovered summer vacations in Michigan, Upper Peninsula, Southwest Michigan, and we stay in the Holland area. We like South Haven, which they've got a New Holland tasting room there. And we were there last summer, and I was hell-bent to going in there. I was getting the Walleye Run 10-year American single malt. I bought it. Like, it's good. I like it. But when I walked in, I realized they had the Walleye Run double oak. And I'm like, okay, like, do I get the 10-year single malt? Do I get the double oak?
Well, come on, man. You know the answer is to get both.
But my wife disagrees. Can I get a permission slip signed from you from my wife?
Okay, but, sure. I'll sign the consent form. That's fine. Yeah.
But I went in there with the mission of getting the 10-year single malt, and I got it. Like, I like it. But then, so I did not get the double oak. Well, then a couple months later, a friend of mine from Indianapolis was down. He gave me a sample of the double oak.
Okay.
And I tried it, and I thought, I chose poorly. Like, I like the single malt is great. I mean, it's great. But, like, when you go to Michigan, I'm hours away. You have one thing you can get. And then I tried the double oak, and I thought, I need a bottle of that. I need to go back to Michigan and ask to trade it in for the double oak. I mean, that Walleye Run it's great stuff.
Yeah, it's so good. What's your overall, I guess, take on American single malt? What's your is it something for you? Is it more, are you pretty selective in the ones you like? What do you think about it?
Now that it's picking up more age, there's a lot that I really like. I mean, I think Cedar Ridge has fantastic stuff.
Absolutely could not agree more. Cedar Ridge is probably my favorite.
So a couple other things. Well, one, perhaps one off that people don't know exists. So Two Soul Spirits, an independent bottler.
Yep.
Maybe 2 years ago, they bottled a 6-year American single malt with a 1-year apple brandy finish, distilled in Columbus at Watershed.
Yep.
But, Watershed has not yet released their own single malt. Yet Two Soul Spirits released one, and it was ridiculously awesome. Like, Watershed, what are you doing? Come on, give us more of that. And it was their own apple brandy finish. But for me, my wild card, my favorite as an entire portfolio distillery is Copperworks in Seattle, Washington.
Oh, Copperworks, yeah. I mean, there's so many great American single malt makers out in the West Coast for sure.
Yeah. So now, to me, like, does Copperworks have any single expression that is the best American single malt? Probably not. But if we're looking at an entire portfolio, like, do I like everything they put out? Typically, yeah. So I got to visit in April of 2024. Went to Seattle for work. Hit 5 distilleries while I was there. I did work, but I hit 5 distilleries while I was there, and I did work. I promise. If you're boss, if you're watching, I
don't believe you, but sure, go ahead.
But I ran up a $300 Uber bill while I was there. But I fell in love with Copperworks. I love what they do. And I think Copperworks is great because now I've got older stuff that's fantastic, but I think Copperworks shows up big even at a younger age. So there's a lot of American single malt out there, no doubt, but there's some really fantastic stuff too.
Copperworks has the Tropical Peaches single barrel they have on their site. FMA, very New Holland with the peach ring. Okay, so they have the peach ring note. I've always said that I actually think the best American single malts are coming outside of Kentucky. And I feel like people look to Kentucky to create really good American single malts because that's where the great bourbon is. But I think the ones outside of Kentucky are making fantastic American single malt. Yeah, Two Souls. I definitely think Two Souls is underrated. I did a review for a pick that Two Souls created, and I went crazy for it. And I think the bottle sold out, and I think it actually sold out while I was talking about it online. It was so good. I'm trying to remember what it was. If it was it might have been a Middle West Pumpernickel Rye.
It's good.
That was
I think
maybe double oaked or something they did to it. It was ridiculously good.
I think one of the more fascinating ones, and I did a Drink Hacker review a couple months ago.
Double barrel pumpernickel.
They released it in, I don't know, it was 2026, 2025, but they don't tell you exactly what it is. It was distilled in New Holland, but back in 2019, Pabst Blue Ribbon contracted with New Holland to make an unaged white whiskey. And it was never intended, like there was never going to be a Pabst Blue Ribbon bourbon. But Manifest Distilling in Jacksonville, Florida, they bought some of the new make. They bought some of the white distillate and they barreled it. Like Pabst didn't do it, just Manifest bought the distillate, they barreled it, aged it in Florida for several years, and then they shipped it back up to Wisconsin to J. Henry. And so Two Souls ended up with this bourbon that was never supposed to be bourbon. It's like, I don't know, 5-6 years old. And it was actually extremely good. It was, so they've got some really interesting stuff.
Yeah. Balcones in French oak, maybe the best thing in American single malt. Yeah. Balcones Froke or the French oak is probably still in my top 3 favorite American single malts of all time. It's just ridiculous. There's a lot of great ones. I think Stranahan's doing great stuff. Del Bach. You mentioned Copperworks, Cedar Ridge, Westward. I mean, there's so many great ones. I think the ones that have been doing it strictly outside of Kentucky are the ones that have been, really moving the category forward. So I can't wait to see where the category goes.
And I'm perfectly okay with Kentucky not owning that category.
Me too. If anything, Kentucky's trying to rush it to the market, which makes it worse because people will like. I always hate to use it as an example, but the one that Beam came out with, what the heck? What is it? What was the name of that thing? The Beam.
I'm blank. Claremont
me
Steep.
Too. I'm totally
Claremont Steep.
Claremont Steep. That thing, like, I was like, I hope people don't think that this is American single malt because that is not really good American single malt. And I urge folks that tried that, do not see that as what American single malt is because there's so much better out there than what that represented. But I think I think people are figuring that out.
Well, it's a different distilling set, and let Kentucky be really good at bourbon and rye, and let the single malt distilleries be really good at what they do. Let them be the experts in that. I am perfectly fine with that.
Couldn't agree more. Yep. All right, let's get to letter E here. See what we got. Cedar Ridge McCarthy's Old Line. Oh yeah, Old Line out of Maryland is making delicious stuff. McCarthy's
we'll say. I think as of now, my two singular best American single malts was the 10-year McCarthy that Lost Lantern released last year. Yep. And I've also got another McCarthy's peated rum cask finish. And I'm not a peat fan, but those McCarthy's, they do it for me. Absolutely.
My go-to scotch is peated sherry. A sherry bomb with peat in it. And McCarthy's, I got one from McCarthy's that I am like taking little sips of because I love it so much. They're incredible, dude. So, all right, let's go to E. And E's coming off like is it weird to say I'm getting like a haystack in it? It sounds like a haystack.
You're talking those little like Chinese noodles covered in butterscotch? Is that the haystack you're talking about?
No, I'm literally thinking like a haystack. Like I'm out on a farm smelling a haystack.
I'm thinking candy. Yeah,
It definitely has some sweetness to it. I could see that for sure.
It's kind of got it definitely has kind of a grassy.
Yeah, grassy. Maybe that's the note. It's grassy. But I could see there is a butteriness to it. It's kind of nice.
I get a grassy kind of a butterscotch. Not necessarily more of a Werther's original butterscotch and not the grandma's purse butterscotch.
Well, I like the palate way more than the nose. This is very much like letter C was.
Ooh.
Where the palate is really good. I am getting some of those buttery, little bit like a little twinge of citrus in there.
Mm-hmm.
It comes off a little bit like a black tea on the back end.
I got a salted peanut in there as well.
I could see the salt. I don't know if I'm getting peanut, but I could see that saltiness you're picking up for sure. There's something.
I don't know.
That's interesting.
I feel like what I'm tasting is what the air smells like at Texas Roadhouse. I don't know. When I'm sitting at my table, I don't know. I feel like it tastes like what my booth smells like when sitting at Texas Roadhouse.
I could see peanut shell on the back end of this.
Maybe
is that what it is? Peanut
maybe that's
shell?
what it is. I'm not thinking carefully about what the peanut is. It's like I feel like I'm tasting the peanut shell dust.
Yeah.
It's the peanut
totally
shell.
Agree. It's like peanut shell dust, and it actually is a little drying on the back end too, which maybe is that part of that dustiness that you're getting.
Yeah, I think I didn't think it through. Yeah, it's not necessarily the nut. It's the shell dust, like in the air, that somehow settles on the tongue.
Yeah, that's good. Not my favorite though that we've had so far. Yeah. There's just that finish is a little bit off. So, all right, let's go to letter F. Last one.
All right, let's do this.
Then we start ranking these things. Oh man, F is actually kind of muted on the nose as well.
Yeah, that's was it 3 or C that?
Yeah, C we had the same issue.
Yeah, this is.
It's like
it's
really.
It's not offensive. There's just not much of anything.
There's nothing there, unfortunately. You hope the palate
dies.
You hope the palate's a little better.
Oh geez, I get like a big wallop of butterscotch pudding.
How does that not have a nose?
I mean, that's like tasting that. That's just like getting a big spoonful of butterscotch pudding and throwing it in the mouth.
So my favorite note in whiskey is finding butterscotch, and somebody knows my palate, and they went all in on the butterscotch. That's delicious.
So, holy crap. And now think about it, like, I'm not sure I get a lot other than butterscotch, but at the same time, I don't know that I need anything else. Like,
yeah, I feel like it's got like a little bit of an old school profile to it, right?
Yeah, I mean, if you're looking for complexity, I feel like it's a little one-dimensional, but like the one dimension it has, I really good. Like if you're gonna be one-dimensional, give me butterscotch pudding.
I could drink that all day long. That's delicious. Yeah. I don't know if I could put it through as like one of the best blends we've had tonight, but as far as a profile that I love personally, I will, whoever made that, I'm going to drink every single sample they sent.
So I feel like with that, like that would be ideal if I'm watching sports or something. You know, I want something that's really good.
Yep.
Isn't necessarily the most complex thing in the world, but if I just want something that tastes really good while I'm, watching my Bengals lose or whatever, watching Joe Burrow get hurt again.
You poor bastard. You're a Bengals fan? Well,
unfortunately,
I'm a Falcons fan. I don't really have it much better than you do.
Yeah.
Oh God, that's
But
yeah.
I would happily just sip that while watching sports. It's good. I don't necessarily need to think about a lot of things, but it tastes really good.
I'm with you. This tastes very much like our. So my bourbon club, we did the Master Journey whiskey club. We did a still Austin pick that was very butterscotchy like this. It didn't have like super rich complexity, but it had a very heavy butterscotch note that I just fell in love with, and that is a bottle that I love to sip on, just randomly. I bought a case of it because I loved it so much. So that reminds me of this a lot.
Sure.
Kind of in that same realm where it's not like I'm not drinking that for complexity. I'm drinking that just something I love and that's enjoyable.
And that's perfectly fine. We don't always need to have the most complex thing in the world to sit there and think about it and ponder it. Sometimes you just want to drink. And that's a good choice for that.
All right, Jacob, real quick to put you on the spot. I know it's 11 o'clock already. We're kind of going into a little bit of overtime here, but I do want to play a little game with you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to spin a wheel with some different bourbon distilleries on it, or just distilleries in general. Okay. And I'm going to give you some categories. So here are the categories.
All right, let's do this.
The categories are going to be a cheap mixer, your daily drinker, your Friday night pour, your impress your guest pour, your special occasion bottle, your underrated bottle, and your personal favorite. Now, basically, okay. I'm going to spin the wheel, and we're going to go right down the list. So whatever distillery it lands on, you have to pick the bottle that goes with that category. You get it?
Sure thing.
All right, so let me bring up the wheel here. Okay, here we go. So here is the 7 whiskey challenge. Are you set? You're seeing it. Okay, here we go. So I'm going to give this a spin. So your first challenge here is going to be your, let's see here. It was, I guess, your cheap mixer. So let's see what we get.
All right.
Well, first, let's see what distillery it lands on. It's going to be.
Give me something good.
Well, that's actually tough. Any NDP bottle.
Oh, gosh.
If you have an NDP bottle that's going to be your mixer, what's it going to be?
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Probably something that I've got of MGP at 4 years old. Geez. I've probably weeded out everything I've got in my collection at that age. Something that's 4 years old MGP, no doubt. I'm drawing a blank on what I actually have in my collection right now.
That's fine. That works. I mean, that could be a multitude of brands.
Yeah. So, and with that, I don't do a lot of cocktails, so I don't necessarily keep a lot of things in my collection to use for mixers.
All right, next one up is going to be, holy crap, Bullet. Is that Bullet? Yep, you got Bullet. So Bullet, actually, that's not a bad category. Which Bullet are you picking for your daily drinker?
I really like the Bottle de Bond. I think the Bottle de Bond they released last year, it's a good value. I think it's solid, and they actually distilled it.
That's a great choice. I like that one. All right, so Bullet, Bottle and Bond. All right, let's go to the next one. So your next one, let's see, is, oh man, you might get Buffalo Trace. You got Buffalo Trace. This is going to be tough. So for Buffalo Trace, you have to pick your Friday night pour. So a step up in quality for the end of the week. What are you picking?
Let's go with Weller Antique. Just it works for a Friday night.
Weller Antique. Perfect choice. Love that. All right. Let's go to the next one. Remove that. Your next one is going to be, oh, look at that. It's in the stars, buddy. Maker's Mark.
All right.
So Maker's Mark, the next category is going to be your Impress Your Guest pour from Maker's Mark. What are you pulling out?
One of my 2 bottles of Community Batch.
Community Batch. Okay, nice.
Are you familiar?
I am familiar.
Okay.
I can't say I've had one of them. I can't say I've had many.
So a fun caveat, they took 30-something different clubs and blended in their Maker's Mark Private Select. My local Owensboro Bourbon Society, our Maker's Mark Private Select picks were in both batches. So it's kind of cool that
that's cool.
My local club was part of that.
And again, it's the connection back to your dad, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's go next one here. Next one you get is, we just talked about them tonight, Old Forester. So Old Forester is going to be your Special occasion pour. What are you pulling out?
Uh, well, I've still got a little bit of the President's Choice rye sample they were sent that I was sent, so I may pull that out to nurse that. But otherwise, probably one of the barrel-proof single barrels.
Dude, President's Choice Rye is such a good call. That thing is so good.
I was pleased.
That thing was so good. All right. Next one. All right, we're getting down to the last two categories. Let's see what you come up with here. You get, we might get Barton. Wow, Barton 1792. And that's going to be your underrated bottle from this distillery. I definitely have an underrated bottle from this one. What's your take on it?
If we're going Barton branding, I'm going to say 1792 full proof, especially the single barrels. I think it's a fantastic value.
Single barrels. You think it's underrated, the full proof?
I think it's underrated. I don't know. I feel like there are certain brands that just aren't necessarily sexy. And I feel like Barton kind of falls into that category. They're like this workhorse distillery. It's fantastic. People go nuts over, the Calumet and all those things, but I feel like their core offerings just kind of get overlooked.
My underrated bottle from them would be the Bottle and Bond. I love their Bottle and Bond bourbon. All right, this is going to be your personal favorite. This one should be pretty easy. Let's see what distillery you get. Oh, looks like you're going to get Sagamore.
10-year.
All right, give me your personal favorite from Sagamore.
The 10-year.
The 10-year rye.
Yeah, it's fantastic stuff. I actually lived in Baltimore for a few years as a very young kid, so I love that Sagamore is doing what they're doing.
So good, dude. So good. All right. Great choices, man. That gives us a little bit of insight into what you like. So, all right, let's go through these and let's rank them. Are there any you want to eliminate immediately?
If we're talking about pure complexity, as much as I like the butterscotch note, I think F's got to go. If we're talking about complexity,
I think F and A are definitely the ones that I want to kind of lean out. Right? You agree?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
and listen. I mean, A is very sweet. F, I'm going to drink the rest of this, whatever sample this is, because it's my wheelhouse. All right, so we have 4 good blends here. Just a matter of breaking these down. So we have B, C, D, and E that's left. We have to eliminate 2 of these.
C was the one that I recall the nose didn't do much for me, but I liked the palate a lot. And
let me see my notes here. Yeah, 3 or C, I should say. 3's palate is freaking great.
I definitely want to. So was it?
Oh yeah. Freaking C is in. C's ridiculous.
I mean, like I appreciate a good nose, but I can overlook a lackluster nose as long as the palate lights up.
That palate is above, I think, all of these. The palate on C is incredible. Now I'm trying to think of let's see here. D. I think we both enjoy D.
I like D. D might be one of my front runner. Is an entire package, I think.
Yeah. The D is delicious.
Yeah, I like that quite a bit.
Yeah. I think I'm all in on C and D, dude. What about you?
Going back to it, those are the 2 that stand out to me the most. C, the nose a little lackluster, but the palate more than makes up for it. I think as an entire package, sample D, I think gets it done.
I think D is the best blend in this lineup. And C, if C had a nose or a better nose, and who knows, the nose could get better as it sits.
Sure.
In their sample bottles, but the palate on C is incredible. I mean, the nose is a little lackluster, but D has everything. D has the nose, the palate, the finish. The finish is easily the longest on D. So I'm with you, man.
D is ready to go as it is right now.
Yeah.
D is definitely deserving of moving on. Given the palate, I enjoy a good nose, but the palate alone on C, I like a good nose, but I'm more interested in the palate overall.
Jacob, are you on any other social platforms like Reddit or X? I know you said
Let's see.
I know you said you do reviews on Drink Hacker, correct?
Yeah, so drinkhacker.com. It's not just me though. There are, I don't know, 7 or so other writers. I do write for them. If you've seen my reviews on Instagram, they kind of have a certain format. I like telling stories. I like going into history, what I learned from the book. So Drink Hacker, much more long form, detailed, a lot of history thrown in there. If I've got something really interesting, I definitely prefer to do it for Drink Hacker as long as the editor approves it. Most of my Instagram reviews do go to Reddit as well, just because it's an easy place to go. And if brands are going to send things, I want to get a maximum visibility. So I post everything there as well. Sparsely hang out on Twitter. I have I have a TikTok account, but I might as well not because, I get like 200 views. So it's there, but not really. But
All right.
but yeah, Instagram, Drink Hacker, and Reddit. That's where I hang out.
Yeah, guys, if you haven't followed Jacob yet, especially their oncoming whiskey, not only is he doing pictures of TTB labels, but a lot of his content of him just visiting distillers and craft distillers. It's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool Instagram to follow. So please do if you haven't yet. If you're on Instagram. All right, let's find out who these belong to. So letter A was the first blend we tried. Obviously, this one belongs to Tom Shanley, and it was named Widow's Creek. So this was Widow's Creek. I wrote down I tasted beam in it, and I'm wondering if he does have, based on the actual name of it, if he's got some Jim Beam in the blend. We're gonna find out what's in this blend. Now, Tom's blend was very, very sweet. It leaned extremely sweet. So you would think, I don't know, maybe there's some Buffalo Trace in it. Let's see what's in it. So Widow's Creek is, it's very simply Widow Jane 10-year, which is 50% of the blend. And 50% of the blend is Knob Creek 9-year, single barrel.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So it's got a good amount of age on it, but I feel like I don't know if the age just like showed up on it.
It's so that combination, I would never think would end up that sweet.
Yeah,
right?
I would expect way more oak on that.
Yeah, way more oak forward, maybe a little bit medicinal, not medicinal, maybe a little bit, that Widow Jane, I know they use Dickel, maybe some minerality to it. I mean, that's wild how sweet it is for that blend. Shouldn't my name color change as a Patreon, says Corden Whiskey? No, the color stays the same. Okay. Interesting blend. So yeah, Widow's Creek makes sense. He just basically named it the 2 bottles he used. Okay. The next one is letter B. Letter B is actually the winner of the Frankenblend competition, which is Eric Snyder. Eric Snyder, letter B is Candy's Crush. That's what he named it. Let's see what's in this blend. So this one is, oh wow, he's got quite the intro for this one. Blendageddon is my third attempt at this, or I'm sorry, my third attempt at this. Hopefully I made it farther than the last. I felt it did very well with my first attempt on Blendageddon 6, very nearly making it to the finals. The components are Bardstown Bourbon Company Origin High Wheat, Bellmead Reserve Bourbon. I found this bottle in the corner on the floor of a very well-known Baltimore liquor store in April of 2025. Weird it was still sitting there. K-Luke Cabernet finish, Sagamore 8-year rye, Noble Oak port finish rye. The total blend was 900 milliliters. Total proof calculated was 109.1 proof. So great. And he said no beavers were harmed in the making of this blend. Dude, that's an incredible blend. I think honestly where it fell short was the finish. I think for both of us, it just didn't. Maybe it's that port. It just didn't hold up. But Eric still.
So have you tried the Noble Oak port finish?
No, I have not.
So that was a conundrum. So that was one couple of years ago. It won double gold in San Francisco, and I did a review on it. And all I can remember on that was getting like electrical fire burnt plastic. And I remember thinking that was such a strange whiskey because, like, I couldn't get over the electrical fire burnt plastic. Yet it was one of those double gold in San Francisco things. It was really like, I remember thinking like, I don't know. It's one of those things that makes you question everything you think, because like whatever San Francisco got, they loved it, and it was a no-go for me.
Yeah, I got that with I got that plastic note on the Woodinville Rye 9-year that came out last year. I know it was a pretty divisive whiskey. You either loved it or hated it.
It wasn't for me.
Was it? Yeah. I got like Elmer's glue, and what was the other note I got? It was Elmer's glue and Sharpie marker. Yeah. I got on it. It wasn't my thing.
So there's a ridiculously awesome liquor store in my town, Owensboro, called Barrelheads, and they do some.
Oh yeah, I visited that place.
Right before Christmas in 2024, I guess, they did this ridiculous sale of everything in the store, their cost plus a penny, not MSRP, their cost plus a penny. So I went in like I'm gonna scope it out. I went for the Woodinville 9-year rye because something interesting. Good price on it. Got it home. I was very disappointed in it.
Yeah,
I paid for it. I got it for a good price, but I was disappointed in it.
All right, let's go to letter E. Letter E belongs to Bourbon and Brews, Randy Becker, with his Campfire Memories blend, which was 4 ounces of a Russell's Standard Single Barrel, Wild Turkey Rare Breed, and Russell's Stand. He went all turkey on this one, which is interesting because I literally wrote in my notes it has that clove. I thought it maybe was turkey, and he went all turkey in this one. So yeah, I mean, I think he was trying to use my love for turkey on that one because that's my favorite. Turkey's my favorite. And last but not least, the Butterscotch Bomb, which I'm going to be drinking the entire blend of that, belongs to Tyler Usolini with Mr. Bourbon. That's the name of the blend, which means moving on to the next round is Mark Emanecker. He had letter C, which was called Wild Jackal, and JG with Rickhouse J. He did letter D, which was our favorite. So congrats to Jay and congrats to Mark.
So what was F, the Butterscotch Bomb?
The Butterscotch Bomb is let's see. Saffel, 35%. So we got some WB Saffel in there. Wild Turkey Jimmy, the 70th anniversary, 25%. He's got Manifest in there. Manifest, 20%. And then he's got Jacob's Pardon, 20%. The milliliters were kind of rounded up. All the best, Tyler. The Jacob's Pardon is basically light whiskey. That's what gave it that super sweet, butterscotchy note. Wow.
It hit hard.
It did hit hard, and it definitely brought the sweetness. And I'm going to drink the hell out of that sample because it's, I don't know. I think maybe the other whiskeys he blended with it really kind of brought out the butterscotch note, but it's delicious. It was just, unfortunately, it was just kind of one note. There wasn't much.
But if you're going to do one note, it's a good note to have.
It's a damn good note to have. All right, guys. Mark, JG, congrats, boys. You are making it to the top. Actually, you're making it to the Sweet 16, as we call it. So congrats to you guys. Jacob, I really do want to thank you for coming on. I know I just kind of reached out to you on Instagram. I really thought it'd be cool for you to come out and talk about your not only your Instagram handle, but kind of the story. And we definitely learned about the story of your dad, and that's kind of the driving force behind what you do. I'm really excited to see what you do in the future. But if anybody doesn't know where to find you, let them know.
So Instagram, Becoming Whiskey, Facebook, Reddit, drinkhacker.com as well. So come check it out, and I'm happy to engage with everyone and anyone.
All right, guys. Well, big thanks to Jacob. Guys, we'll see you next week for week number, oh my God, we're in week number 5 of Blendageddon. More blends to come. We're still waiting. Will Darrell defend his championship? A lot more to do. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in tonight. I know we ran a little bit over time as we normally do, especially around Blendageddon time, but there was a lot to get into. So as I always say, it's not about the whiskey, it's the people you share it with. Cheers. And I'll see you next week right here on the Mass and Drum. Patreon members, after party coming at you. Cheers.